Hello friends, in this video I will discuss some of the important news that are there in the time. Okay, so what are the table of content? क्या क्या news है हमारे पास? So the first news is regarding the election expenditure, that how much we are spending and the US is spending in the election. Okay, and next thing, the GS paper 3, the India and the fertilizer import, how much fertilizer we are producing, how much fertilizer we are using, and how much fertilizer we are importing from which nation also. And apart from that, fertilizers बनते कैसे हैं, ठीक है ना, ये बनते कैसे हैं, what we use, है ना, हम इसमें क्या यूज़ करते हैं, we use the CNG in it, ठीक है ना, या liquefied natural petroleum gas LPG, ठीक है ना, इसका यूज़ करते हैं. सो वी इम्पोर्ट LPG ऑल्सो. जैसे अभी रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर चल रहा था, तो ड्यूरिंग द रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर देयर वाज अ scarcity of the natural gas. Okay, natural gas, and natural gas is a substituent which is used in the fertilizer, and hence as a result there was a scarcity of the fertilizer. तो इसके बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. नेक्स्ट विल टॉक अबाउट द हुला पार्टीज. ठीक है ना, हुला पार्टीज क्या है? बेसिकली देयर इज अ मैन एनिमल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. मैन एनिमल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, दिस इज समथिंग विच इज़ वेरी कॉमन इन दीज डेज, ठीक है ना, बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीजिंग पेनिट्रेशन ऑफ द ह्यूमंस इन द सेटलमेंट ऑफ द एनिमल. ओके, सो हुला पार्टी, इट इज़ अ ग्रुप, इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. देन सर्च ऑफ द ग्लोबल ग्रीन गैसेज, हाउ मच इट इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग. नेक्स्ट, सम फैक्टर्स फॉर द प्रीलिम्स इज द TALS एयरबस फैसिलिटी मेड बाय द टाटा, and then these fast petrol vessels, आयुष्मान भारत प्रधानमंत्री जन आरोग्य योजना, and paddy के बारे में बात करेंगे. about there's a variety of the paddy, and we will also discuss that in which state how much paddy is growing, and what is the India's position, in the paddy production throughout the world. Next is the medicinal food and benefits. Okay, medicinal food and benefits, and it means we are talking about the herbal medicines, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Ayush. Mission of the integrated development of the horticulture. What is the horticulture? The growing of the fruit and vegetables. ठीक है, fruits and vegetables is known as the horticulture. And then last we'll talk about the NBT, that is the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Okay, and Dholavira as a site. So first we are going to talk about the election expenditure in the US and India. So this is regarding the GS paper 2, international relations. Now, so talking about the expenditure in India, so you know that we spend a lot of amount of the money in the expenditure, in the election expenditure, in the electoral processes, the party spend actually. And apart from that, talking about, we have just introduced the we are just introducing the concept of the one nation. We are introducing the concept of the one nation, one election, but this has not been got implemented till now. Okay, and who is the chairman, and who is heading this committee, okay, to assess whether this thing will be implemented properly or not, was our former the president. He is the Ram Nath Kovind. Okay, so Ram Nath Kovind ji, he is the head of the committee one nation one election. Clear? Now, so talking about the expenditure, so we have the Election Commission of India. It is mentioned in the 324 article, we know it very well, and it is a constitutional body. So there is a one chief election commissioner, and there are two election commissioner. Clear? Now, so talking about the Election Commission of India, so we can, obviously a person or party can spend, okay, any lump sum, but the thing is the Election Commission has prescribed some amount. Okay, and according to that amount you have to spend that amount of the money in the election, in the electoral process. But the thing is the actual amount which is spent on the ground is far or way more than the prescribed amount by the Election Commission of the India. Okay, so these are the some things we'll talk about it. Okay, so here we are talking about the type of the comparison. Okay, so the Election Commission is pointing out the challenges influence the peddling and the inequitable representation. Okay, and we are comparing the US and the UK election. Okay, so basically what type of the laws we have the conduct of the election rule of 1961. Okay, we have the representation of the people act of 1951. This rule, this representation of the people act, that is the RPA act. Okay, this RPA act is directly mentioned in your syllabus head. Okay, so it is directly mentioned in your syllabus head of the UPSC, so it is very important. Okay, and then the expenditure statement. Now, candidate must submit कंप्लीट एक्सपेंडिचर रिपोर्ट टू द इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया विद इन 30 days आफ्टर द इलेक्शन कंप्लीट. तो उसको एक रिपोर्ट की कॉपी सबमिट करनी होती है, दैट हाउ मच अमाउंट ही हैज स्पेंड ऑन द election. Okay, disqualification for the non-compliance. So if any person don't comply with the RP Act of 1951 regarding anything, here we are talking about regarding the expenditure in the election, so he can be disqualified also. ठीक है ना, they can be disqualified also. Now talking about the political party, so while there is no cap on the party's total spending, okay, but all registered parties are required to file their election expenditure report to the election of India within 90 days of the election. Clear? Okay. Now, so talking about the current limit. What is the current limit in the Lok Sabha election? So for the largest state expenditure 95 lakhs, okay, and small state union territories लिए 75 lakh, okay, for the party, okay, and party spending की कोई limit नहीं है, ठीक है ना. So this is the current limit, got it. And state legislative it is 40 lakhs and 28 lakh. But the thing is कि the party spent more or way more than it. Clear? Now, so now if we compare the India, okay, because in the syllabus head of the UPSC there's also mentioning the comparison of the constitution of the USA and India, or more specifically the India and the various other developed nation or various other nations. ठीक है. So talk about the expenditure limit. So India में क्या है, the limitation for the candidate is no, there's no limit on the political parties. In India there's no limit on the political parties, but in the USA there's a limit. There's a limit on the contribution to the candidates and no limit for the Supreme Political Action Committee independent spending. ठीक है, उसकी independent spending में कोई नहीं है, otherwise there's a control, there's a limit. Okay, what about the funding sources? Primary funding is the self funding or the donations. Okay, we have the electoral bond also. Electoral bond. Okay, by the way, electoral bond is something which has been declared as the unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So ये policy को बंद कर दिया गया है. Individual and the PAC, that is the Public Political Action Committee, ठीक है, contributions with the Supreme PACs accepting the unlimited fund, वो accept कर सकते हैं. Spending है ट्रांसपेरेंसी, लिमिटेड ट्रांसपेरेंसी है यहाँ पर, कोई ज़्यादा ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है. रेगुलेटरी बॉडी कौन है? इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया, एंड हियर इज द फेडरल इलेक्शन कमीशन. ओके, पेनाल्टी क्या है? आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, अकॉर्डिंग टू द RPA एक्ट, 1951 you can be disqualified for up to 3 years, and here in the US there's a fine and there's disqualification also. Okay, total expenditure 1 lakh crore estimated for the Lok Sabha election 2024. 1 lakh crore, just imagine. And in the US it is 1,36,000 crore. Now just imagine the type of the population India is having. The type of population India population क्या है? Near about let's say 130 crore. Okay, 130 crore. What is the population of not 130 crore, it is near about 145 crore. Okay, and what is the population of the US? It is near about 45 crore. Okay, this much only. So 100 crore difference, but let's just see the amount they are spending. ठीक है. So this is the first news. Okay, now what are the way forward? What we can do, what step we can initiate is the state funding of the election as per the Indrajit Gupta Committee and the Law Commission. Consider the partial state funding to reduce the financial dependency on the on private donations. So what we can do, there's a report known as the Indrajit Gupta Committee, okay, in the 1998, and Law Commission की report भी आई थी in the 1919, and they have considered that we can reduce the private donations, and okay, we can reduce the private donation and we can consider the partial state funding, so that state can fund, basically state can allocate fund. Okay, so maybe state can donate or allocate particular amount for the election. Okay, simultaneous election, as we have said that Ramnath Kovind is heading this committee. So simultaneous election is one more substituent for the reduction in expenditure by the state. Okay, by the political parties. Cap on the parties expenditure, so we can make any make any law, okay, that can limit the political party expenditure. Okay, because at the end of the day it is the taxpayers' money. Okay, and amend the financial assistance law. So whatever the laws are there already existing, we can amend those laws and enhance the judicial oversight. Okay, we can increase the judicial oversight. So it is like it means we are saying that we can enhance the horizon of the judiciary over the executive. okay, or over the political party. So these are some of the ways, some of the things that from which we can control the expenditure in the political parties, okay, during the election. So India's election, it is a financial model and has controlled yet spending caps, ओके, फॉर द फेवरेट वेल्थ कैंडिडेट्स, ऐसी सारी चीज़ें लिखी हुई हैं, कुछ खास नहीं है, ठीक है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें मैंने यहाँ पर आपको एक्सप्लेन कर दी, ओके, रेस्ट इज वेस्ट, ठीक है। आगे बात करते हैं। नाउ देयर इज वन मोर PYQ इज आल्सो देयर, ओके, इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड इन 2017, साइमल्टेनियस इलेक्शन टू द लोक सभा एंड द स्टेट असेंबली, okay, will limit the amount of the time and the money spending in electioneering, but it will reduce the government's accountability to the people, okay, because the thing is the election is happening once in a 5 year, okay, and simultaneously the election of the state and center is also happening simultaneously. So the grievances of the state is entirely different from the center. Obviously center के जो grievances हैं will be of the national level, and the state के जो grievances हैं will of the state level, of local grievances, regional problems, national problems are different from the regional problems. So it somehow it will also reduce the accountability, okay, and this question is addressing the demand, so you can approach that thing. Otherwise absolutely हम बात कर रहे हैं, after some time I'm going to also discuss some of the questions also, ठीक है, कि questions को कैसे approach करते हैं, I will discuss for the how to write the answers. Clear? Now next I'm talking about the fertilizer. So fertilizer is something that enhances the quality of the soil, okay, it enhances the productivity of the soil, yield of the soil, okay. Now as you know that we have also introduced the green revolution, and MS Swaminathan, Norman Borlaug, okay. So green revolution, it has done what? It has introduced the high yield variety seed, okay, and also introduced the fertilizer, clear? Now talking about the green revolution, so in the green revolution we have introduced the introduced the seed of two things, okay. First the wheat we have introduced from the Mexico, okay, and rice we have introduced from the Philippines, okay, Philippines से rice और wheat Mexico से, clear? Now which state got the maximum benefit of the green revolution? Okay, so states like the state where the landholding capacity of the farmers was big, okay, where there was big farm, okay, commercial farming was happening. So just like the state of the Punjab, okay, UP, okay, especially the western UP, okay. Now there's a problem. What is the problem? ये तो चीज़ें हो गई, these things happen, but apart from that, what happened in today's scenario, if I talk about in today's world, in today's scenario, what is the condition right now is that the overall, if I talk about, let's say if I talk about the wheat, so overall production of the wheat is maximum in the UP, but the productivity of the wheat is maximum in the Punjab. तो कहने का मतलब क्या है? I want to explain this thing as the fertilizer, more use of the fertilizer, okay, slowly degrade the soil capacity, okay, degrade the quality of the soil. So these are the things, ठीक है. So we are mentioning the Ukraine-Gaza war conflict, है ना, and these things are escalating the fertilizer supply, ठीक है ना. So these things are affecting the fertilizer supply, okay, that time, okay. Now and obviously it is said that Ukraine is the bread basket of the world, है ना, तो वहाँ पे wheat और सारी चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा होती हैं. Now talking about the India's fertilizer import, how much fertilizer we import? So we import near about the 20% of the urea, and urea, it is the cheapest fertilizer, है ना. It is available at the very low price, and hence all the farmers and all the agricultural workers, so what they do, they put a lot of urea in their land without any knowledge whether the soil required the urea or not. Okay, so they put a lot of urea there. So urea we import near about 20%, 50 to 60% we import the DAP, diammonium phosphate, and 100% we import about the MOP, muriate of potash. Okay, so this is the amount of the things that we import. And what are our partners? Our partners include the China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Iraq. So these are the partners from where we import the fertilizers. Okay, and this is the data. This data is derived from the Standing Committee on the Chemical and Fertilizer. Clear? Now talking about some more data. Okay, India's fertilizer production. Okay, how much fertilizer we produce? Now total production in 2021, it is about 435.95 lakh metric ton. Okay, यूरिया कितना था? 250 metric ton. डाई अमोनियम फॉस्फेट 42. Okay, so these are some data. Muriate of potash. Now, muriate of potash, it is exclusively imported. It is exclusively imported. यानी कि MOP, muriate of potash, we don't produce this. Clear? Now, and we also need to consider that the government give a huge amount of the subsidy in the fertilizer section. Okay, this is the data from the Department of the Fertilizer. Now, what are the challenges? What are the challenges in the fertilizer section? Now, talking about the challenges, there's a high import dependency, है ना? As we have said, as we have explained also, 20% हम यूरिया import कर रहे हैं, 50% of हम अपना that we are importing the diammonium phosphate, ठीक है ना, एंड म्यूरेट ऑफ पोटास, तो ये सारे को इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. सो देयर इज अ हाई डिपेंडेंसी, ओके, इन दी इम्पोर्ट, है ना, हाई डिपेंडेंसी इन द इम्पोर्ट, एंड देयर आर ऑल्सो लिमिटेड प्रोडक्शन, है ना, एंड फ्लक्चुएशन इन द ग्लोबल क्राइसिस एज वी हैव सीन विटनेस्ड द यूक्रेन and Russia war. So during the Ukraine-Russia war, India has the price of all the fertilizer has surged in even the price of the cost of the petrol-based fertilizers, okay, was surged, okay, and hence the increase in the cost of the import by the India, okay, fertilizers. Environmental concerns is already there. Use of the high fertilizers raises the concern and degrade the soil health in the long term. ठीक है ना? What are the recommendation? What are the way forward? ना? What we can do for it? So we can expand the, first of all, the domestic production. If we are using the fertilizer, we should move on towards the domestic production. That is the way. Clear? The next is the promote the alternative solution. What is the alternative solution? Natural farming. Natural farming is the way. Natural farming is the way to future. Natural farming, it is the thing that we can adopt, and we can expand our biofertilizer use, ठीक है ना, and this will reduce the dependency on the chemical fertilizer, ठीक है ना. So we need to move from the inorganic to organic, okay, organic. Clear? So this is the way, and we need to spend in the R&D. We need to spend in the R&D. Now here's the data, how much we spend in the R&D. So India spend near about 0.64% of its GDP in the R&D. This is the latest data, July 2024. Just imagine, 0.64% of its GDP in the R&D. So we need to invest a lot in the R&D so that it will enhance our research capabilities, and also it will enhance the our capacity to adopt the state of the art technology. Okay, so invest in R&D, क्योंकि अभी हम कितना कर रहे हैं, 0.6% only. Okay, and then the policy reform, we need to do the lot of the policy reforms, है ना, which encourage, and the policy reform should be such that encourage the private and the cooperative sectors. Okay, next is the long-term sustainability. For that the government has taken the various initiatives, just like the soil health card, also soil health management program also. So in the soil health card, what the farmer do, it analyzes, it takes the sample of its soil and go to the nearby dedicated health center, the soil health center, and there he can check it out that what is the quantity of the different component nutrients in the soil, है ना. तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग देन ही कैन ऐड द फर्टिलाइजर. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट यू आर जस्ट एडिंग दी एवरी टाइम यू आर एडिंग दी यूरिया एंड दोज थिंग्स, ओके, बिकॉज एडिंग द यूरिया ऑल्सो डिग्रेडेट द सॉइल एंड इट इंक्रीजेज द सॉइल सैलिनिटी, ठीक है ना, इट इंक्रीजेज द सॉइल सैलिनिटी, ठीक है. सो व्हाट आर द कंसर्न्स क्या है? एड्रेसिंग द इंडियाज फर्टिलाइजर चैलेंजेस रिक्वायर द मिक्स of the increased domestic production and innovative practice. So we need to focus on the domestic production also and innovative practices and strategic policy support. So obviously we need to focus on the, first of all, domestic production, DP, and innovative policies is important, and policy support by the government, and so these are the steps, okay, and hence we can only, this is the way from which we can only stabilize the agricultural sector, okay, to face the global uncertainties, because in this world of World War III, we could say, okay, so all the parties are fighting with each other, all the countries are fighting with each other, so we need to put a lot of emphasis in these things, okay. Now even the government has taken various steps to empower the farmers through the fertilizer support, ठीक है ना. So government has taken a lot of the efforts, okay, a lot of the schemes are running, okay. Now talking about some of the problems that are there. So first of all, obviously the government has focused on lot on the strategic goal for the agricultural sector, but what are the problems that are arising? So what the problem is, as I said, that adding lot of the fertilizer decreases the soil fertility and decreases the increases the soil salinity. Now, talking about the NPK, which are the basic ingredient, nitrogen, phosphorus, and the potash. So the ratio should be 4:1. 4:1. This should be the ratio. But what is the ratio in the Punjab? It is a 61, 19, and 1. Now, how this becomes so much? How there's so much variation in it? So there's a variation in it because a lot of use of the indiscriminate use of or the overuse of the fertilizers. It disturbs the overall equilibrium or overall balance of the soil. Okay, so we need to just go through these things, and this will going to help us. Okay, now this will going to help. Okay, and just like here are some things to encourage the farmers for the ecological farming. So we can encourage the farmers to do the ecological farming, and we need to shift to the biofertilizers. As I say, organic farming, biofertilizers, okay, natural farming, you know. So these are the way. Natural farming is the way, and there are a lot more schemes that are run by the government. Just like there are a lot more schemes that are run by the government. Okay, for example, the PM Pranam, that is the Prime Minister program for the restoration, awareness, and the nourishment and amelioration of the Mother Earth. So PM Pranam scheme is there. Okay, and apart from that, what schemes the government is running? Soil health card. Okay, soil health card. We said soil health card scheme is also running. So these things are running to eliminate the chemical fertilizers with the organic and the biofertilizers. Okay, now moving on to the next article. Now, before we move to the next article, we have some questions also, just like how do the subsidies affect the cropping pattern? Okay, so government is giving subsidies. Now, because the government is giving subsidies on the, for example, the government gives very lump sum amount of the subsidy on the wheat and rice, and hence this increases the chances that people will grow these crops only. Okay, these crops only. So basically, देखा जाए, or if we see the wheat and rice, they are not the cash crops. They are they are the what you call as the subsistence crop. Subsistence crop. Okay, or staple crop. Okay, इसको हम लोग खाते हैं. But because the government is giving a lot of the subsidies on it, so people are doing what? People are using these crops as the commercial crop or the cash crops. So they are growing wheat and rice, only wheat and rice, just to gain the subsidy. So this is not sustainable anyhow. Okay, so the question is how do the subsidies affect the cropping pattern? Yes, it affects, and it also affects the crop diversity and the economy of the farmers. Now, what are the significance of the crop insurance? Okay, crop insurance. Now, crop insurance is something which is very important. Okay, crop insurance. If because of the drought or because of the heavy floods, okay, your crop got destroyed, so crop insurance is something that will help you out. Okay, and then the MSP. Okay, MSP is provided by the government, and the food processing for the small and marginal farmers. Okay, food processing. Now in the India, there are a lot more chances, there are a lot more possibility of the food processing industries also. So the food processing industries, they are growing just like the mushrooms, but they have not grown up to its full potential. So how it will grow? So we need to just give a deliberate effort on it. Okay, next is the in what way could replacement of the price subsidy with the direct benefit transfer? So there are two things. First is the price subsidy. What is the price subsidy? Price subsidy. What is the price subsidy? Okay. So price subsidy is that government is giving the subsidy on the price. Let's say the bag of the urea is 2,000 rupees. So government is giving subsidy directly to the shopkeeper. Okay, and then the shopkeeper is giving this to the farmers in the 1,500. Let's say, for example, okay, in 1,500. So this is the price subsidy. But here we are talking about the DBT. DBT is the direct benefit transfer. यानी कि आपके खाते में पैसा आएगा. DBT, direct benefit transfer. Okay, Jandan account के अंदर we have opened a lot of the accounts. So the government, if they want for any scheme, they can send the DBT. Okay, now challenges to the scenario of the subsidies in India. What are the challenges? We'll mention these things. ठीक है? Now moving forward. Now, as I mentioned, the man-animal conflict. So because of the breeding, increasing population, the humans are now interfering, or they are going into the domains of the animals. So if you don't have any place to reside and you are infiltrating you're infiltrating in the place of them, in the place of animals. So definitely there'll be man-animal conflict, and these man-animal conflicts, just say for example in the Kerala. So there we have witnessed a lot of the examples, a lot of the what we call as the incidents of the man-animal conflict. Okay, and hence the Kerala government, they have decided the man-animal conflict as the state disaster. State disaster. Got it? So the Kerala government has declared the man-animal conflict as a state disaster. So this is something which is not normal. First of all, a lot more man-animal conflict, and this is not only dangerous for the humans, this is also dangerous for the animals, because a lot of the animals lost their life. Okay, so this is a serious topic. So we need to prevent this. Now for that, what we have done, for example, they have the people of the particular place, okay, of the district of the West Bengal, they have created the howla parties. Okay, howla parties. So this department or howla parties, they are created by the forest department. Okay, that too draw the criticisms for its ethical and the environmental implementation. Now what is it? What is the howla parties? This is nothing, just it is the group. Howla means the torch, by the way. So it is just the group, just the group. Okay, so it is the group of the local. So there's 15 to 30 people, okay, hired informally by the forest department. And what they are using, what the method they are using the method like the iron rod, okay, and live fire sticks and the noises to ward off the elephant को भगाने के लिए. In the emergency, the torches are used to create the barrier to reduce the elephant interaction. Clear? Elephant interaction. Now the people are saying there's some legal and the ethical issues also. Okay, why? Because if anyhow we kill the elephant, okay, so this could be a very serious issue, because the elephant is mentioned in the wildlife protection of Schedule 1. Okay, so there's also the safety concern of the elephant, okay, regarding the potential harm to the elephant. Okay, so this was the recent controversy. What is the recent controversy? There was a tragic death of the pregnant elephant. Okay, the uses of the torch by the howla parties has come under the scrutiny. So basically the howla parties, they have used, as I said, the tools and method, they use the torch and the rods. So these things, now these things are used by them, and this causes the death of the pregnant elephant. Okay, so there are their actions, the method, the ways, how they are operating. Okay, their MO, that is the modus operating, is also under the scrutiny. Okay, under the vigilance. Okay, so basically they need better training and non-violence resolution, non-violence method. Okay, like Gandhiji's method of the Ahimsa kind of. So basically how we can relate this thing also in the UPSC syllabus. Now we have this ethics thing of a GS paper 4. In the GS paper 4 we can relate this thing. It's like the ethics in the administration. So if you are running the administration, if we are in the administration, we need to follow the ethical way. Okay, we need to follow the ethical way. So ethical consideration is something which is needed, है ना? If we want to reduce the man-animal conflict, so we need to follow the ethical way. It is not like we are just we have the way, we have the tools, and we are using them blatantly without giving any without paying any attention what repercussions it is causing. ठीक है. Next, we need to also pay the understanding. We should also have the understanding regarding the human and wildlife conflict and the habitat fragmentation. Okay, habitat fragmentation. The basic, or what I should say, the reason at the first instant. Okay, the reason at the first instant, the first sight of the habitat confrontation is the habitat fragmentation. We are infringing, okay, or intervening in the habitat of the animal, and that is the cause that they are attacking us. Okay, na? So habitat loss or habitat fragmentation, habitat loss, these are the basic thing, or this is the first thing at this time. This is the first and foremost thing. Okay, na? So what we need to do, the habitat fragmentation को बचाना है, and then we need to do the conservation. We need to adopt the conservation strategies and sustainable practices also, and we need also use the science and technology. So we can use the social media, okay, or update. We can update the community if there's a herd of elephant is going, so we can update the details there, and rest the government support, the government policy. Okay, government policy, and just like government has introduced many policy, you know, that's just like the Elephant Act of 1992 and the what we call as the Mike Act, the migration of endangered killing of the elephant, mitigation of the endangered killing of elephant, like that. ठीक है ना, Mike elephant, और भी कई सारे जो projects हैं are run by the government. ठीक है. Now moving forward is the surge in the global greenhouse gas. So global greenhouse gas or greenhouse gas is something which is very crucial, ठीक है ना, which is very disturbing, ठीक है ना. Greenhouse gas, what it called, it depletes the ozone, ठीक है ना. Ozone depletion caused by the greenhouse gases, ठीक है ना. So greenhouse gases, it is nothing this whatever the amount of the gases we are releasing, let's say for the CO2. So CO2 is not harmful if it releases, if it move on in the higher atmosphere, but the thing, it got trapped in the troposphere. It got trapped in the troposphere, and that hence it is working as the greenhouse. So talking about the greenhouse gas, so this data is released by the MOU, World Meteorological Organization, and they have reported a record rise in the greenhouse gas level in the carbon dioxide emission. So there's a carbon dioxide emission. Now one thing you need to understand is this: one thing is the CO2 and one thing is the methane. Okay, one thing is CO2, one thing is methane. Now CO2 is present in the maximum amount in the atmosphere, but there's one more term known as the greenhouse potential. Greenhouse potential. Now greenhouse potential is way more of the methane than the CO2. So the methane has more greenhouse gas potential. What is the greenhouse gas potential? Potential means कितनी ताकत है उसके पास, how much power it has. For example, that the amount of the destruction caused by the 100 molecules of the CO2, the amount of the destruction caused by the 100 molecules of the CO2 is equal to, for example, caused by 1 molecule of the methane. So the type of the destruction, the type of the damage caused by the 1 mole of the methane is equal to 100,000 moles of the CO2. So this is known as the greenhouse potential. Okay, how much which party can cause damage, ठीक है ना. So greenhouse, how much amount, there's a surge in the greenhouse gas emission. So in the CO2, it saw a rise of 2.3 parts per million rise in the CO2 as compared to 2022. Global warming has also recorded high, so the temperature has increased 1.48 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. This has been increased or recorded in 2016. Okay, carbon cycle, it is 50% of the CO2 emission remains in the atmosphere, for about 30% is absorbed by the land and 25% by the oceans. So talking about the 100, if there's 100% CO2, so 50% is released in the atmosphere, okay, and 30% is absorbed by the land and 25% by the oceans. Okay, this data is very important. India का contribution क्या है? So India's greenhouse gas emission grew by 6.1% in 2003 and accounting for the 8% of the global emission. Okay, global emission. So abhi right now how much India is contributing for the global contribution? So it is the 8%. Increase कितना हुआ है? 6.1% has increased in 2023. Okay, and pre-industrial level or historically we were contributing the 3% only. We were contributing the 3% only. ठीक है ना. Next is the radiative forcing increase. Now since 1990, radiative forces from the greenhouse gas has increased the 51.5%. ठीक है ना. Now what are the relevance of these things? So relevance क्या है? Obviously we have the GS paper 3. Okay, in the GS paper 3 we have the sustainable development, the whole the environment is there, sustainable development, environment degradation, the conservation effect. Okay, and apart from that, in the GS paper 1 we have the climate change and the global warming effect on the geography and the environment. Okay, so we have in the GS paper 1 we have the history and geography, and then in geography we have the climate change topic. So it can also be included in that thing. Okay, and essay writing we can also write the topics on the environmental issues and the climate policies and India's role in the global climate effort. Okay, next in the GS paper 2 में इसको ले सकते हैं in India's international relation concerning the climate commitment. Okay, so whenever we join any party, whenever we join any agreement, we need to also ratify, we need to show the strict adherence to the policies, and that should be our prime objective also. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज दी TASLA, ठीक है ना, एयरबस फैसिलिटी है, इट इज़ द एयरबस फैसिलिटी. सो प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ही हैज़ इनॉग्रेटेड दी टाटा एडवांस सिस्टम एयरबस फैसिलिटी इन दी वडोदरा, गुजरात. सो दिस इज द इंडियाज फर्स्ट प्राइवेट सेक्टर प्लांट, and this is the boost to the Make in India, okay, for the world. Okay, by the way, Make in India was not that much successful. Okay, launched in 2014-15 near about. Okay, but even though we are heading forward in that domain. So this is the about the Airbus facility. So it has the strategic importance, okay, for the defense sector. Production है इसका किया हुआ है, ठीक है ना. Next is it will definitely create the job creation. It will definitely do the job creation, and the versatility, it has it can be used in the medical evacuation, disaster response, and the marine patrolling, and cultural diplomacy also, ठीक है ना. It shared the cultural interest of the India and the Spain, because it has been basically it is written there in the production that for the Indian Defence Forces 16 will be from the Spain and 14 produced in the Vadodara. So there will be these will be from the Spain. Again, these will be imported from the Spain, but 40 will be produced in the Vadodara. So this is also the Make in India project, under the Make in India project. So this will enhance the what is called as the India and the Spain cultural and the tourism and the AI. Okay, and future, obviously the future aviation hub. Okay, na? So these are some of the things about the C295 Airbus. C295 Airbus. Now next we talk about the patrol vessel. Patrol vessel. What is the patrol vessel? So patrol vessel, it is the we are talking about the fast patrol vessel of the Indian Coast Guard. Now what is the Indian Coast Guard? Now you have the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. So Indian Coast Guard, they protect the coast of the India. Okay, which coast? The marine coast. Obviously coast means marine coast. Okay, so maritime, for the maritime security we have the Indian Coast Guard. Okay, and so we have launched the Indian Coast Guard has launched the Adyama and Akshara, marking a milestone in its commitment to enhance the maritime security and the indigenous manufacturing. So basically they are increasing the maritime security. This is built by the Goa Shipyard Limited, and over 60% is indigenous content. Okay, 60% जो है वो क्या है? It is the indigenous content. So this is it about it. ठीक है, ज़्यादा कुछ खास नहीं इसमें. नाउ वी आर मूविंग टू दी आयुष्मान भारत प्रधानमंत्री जन आरोग्य योजना. ठीक है. सो नाउ इन द पीएम जन आरोग्य योजना, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस वाज इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द 9th of October. ठीक है ना. नहीं, सो नॉट 9th of October, इट वॉज द 9th आयुर्वेदा डे. इट वॉज द 9th आयुर्वेदा डे. ठीक है ना. नेक्स्ट, दिस इज रिगार्डिंग दी ऑल द सीनियर सिटीजन्स regardless of their income, and you must have heard about the PM Jan Aushadhi Kendra. So PM Jan Aushadhi Kendra is something that you should also know. Now talking about the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, या PM JY. So this Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana was launched in 2018. And under this also the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Kendra was launched. Now here the government provide the 5 lakh rupee subsidy, if up to 5 lakh rupee subsidy if there's any person which is sick in the family. Okay, in the family. Okay, currently they have covered the 50 crores individuals and 12.34 crores families nationwide. Okay, what are the key provisions? What are the key features? Universal health access. Even in the DPSP we have mentioned about the good health. ठीक है ना. So it is provided by the universal health coverage and health and wellness center. ठीक है ना. So health and wellness centers are the centers, अब इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. They are the primary health center that emphasizes the preventive and the curative services, and expand the senior citizen coverage to include the more senior citizens and financial protection. So basically these things, just like the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, these things will reduce the out of pocket expenditure of the persons. ठीक है ना. So it will reduce the out of pocket expenditure of the person. ठीक है ना. What is the out of pocket expenditure? Whatever expenditure we are doing more than the budget allocated. The moment we in the home also we allocate our budget. So whatever expenditure we are doing, okay, out of our pocket is known as the out of pocket expenditure. Now so we'll see some things here also. So ये लिखा हुआ है same thing, प्रधानमंत्री जन आरोग्य योजना launched in 2008. ठीक है ना. और यहाँ पे एक केस स्टडी भी दिया गया है, बिकॉज इन द स्टेक्स वी ऑल्सो मेंशन द केस स्टडी इज व्हाट. लेट्स से देयर इज अ पर्सन है ना, एंड दैट पर्सन इज नॉट अवेयर ऑफ the 18-year-old some child, and his father is not aware about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, and to take the loan to treat for the treatment, they have taken the debt on their land, and they have sold all their livestock because they were unaware of their eligibility under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. ठीक है. So this is something which is important, and the moment after, in the later time, the moment they got about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, so for the later treatment, okay, they were paid under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana scheme. So this is the one case study. ठीक है ना. But talking about the hospital admissions, there are a lot more hospitals also in the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana will cover that also. ठीक है ना. And as I told you, there's a coverage of the 5 lakh only. ठीक है ना. So there's a coverage of the 5 lakh only. ठीक है. So this is something which is important. Now one more thing is there that you need to understand is the universal health coverage in India. ठीक है ना. GS पेपर 2 के अंतर्गत आएगा ये. ठीक है ना. हेल्थ एंड मैनेजमेंट के अंदर. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द GS पेपर 2, एज आई टोल्ड यू, द हेल्थ इज द समथिंग विच इज मेंशन इन द DPSP ऑल्सो. DPSP में मेंशन किया गया है. दिस इज मेंशन इन DPSP इन द आर्टिकल 39, 42 एंड 47. ठीक है. दिस मैंडेट्स द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट टू सिक्योर द वर्कर्स हेल्थ एंड इम्प्रूव देयर लाइफ स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग. Clear? Now, so talking about this, and the United Nations also designated 2017 as the International Universal Health Coverage Day. Okay, International Universal Health Coverage Day. Now, what about the challenges in implementing the universal health coverage in India? What are the challenges? Now, this is something which is very important. The challenges that they are lined ahead, okay, in implementing the universal health coverage in India. First of all, it is the inequitable access to the health. Okay, so lowest health insurance coverage. The health insurance coverage is very lowest, so people are investing very low percentage of the health percentage of the income in for the securing the or taking the health insurance. Okay, recently we have witnessed that there about the 18% of the GST is there on the health insurance. Okay, so इसको reduce करने की बात कर रहे थे. Okay, and even the cancer medicines there was 18% of GST. Poor finance. So basically the government is spend near about the 3.2% of its GDP on the health sector, है ना, which is way lower than the average of the world, which is 5.2%. Okay, and the lower middle income countries. Okay, got it. And as I told you, 0.6% the government is spent on the R&D. On the R&D it's 0.6%, 0.6%, and on the health it is 3.2%. Okay, and on the education is also India spend near about the 3%. Okay, so these are some data that you need to understand. Lack of the financial protection. ठीक है ना. So because of the lack of the financial protection, we are bound to pay the out of pocket expenditure. So out of pocket expenditure is particularly very high in the urban areas and the rural areas also. Inclusion and the exclusion error. So because of the government schemes, and in the government scheme, so there are lot more possibilities of including the ineligible household and excluding the eligible ones. So who are eligible maybe could be excluded, and who are non-eligible could be included. ठीक है ना. So inclusion and exclusion error is always there. ठीक है. Now this data is something which is very important, is the inadequate availability of the services. So under the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, 56% are the hospitals that are the public sector, and 40% of the private sector hospitals are included in Prime Minister Jan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So this data is very shocking. 56% of the PSU hospital and 40% of the private hospital, and we know that how much the cost of operating or the cost of the treatment in the private sector. Now this is something which is very shocking. Okay, next is the short of over 71% of the specialist. So there's a lack of the specialist also, है ना, the lack of the specialist also. And lower bed density. What is the bed density? Bed density is the how much the bed is there in 1000 population. So in India there's only one bed for the 1000 people. In India there's only one bed for the 1000 people. This is very shocking. One bed for the 1000 people. This is very shocking. ठीक है ना. इंडिया में सिर्फ एक बेड है 1000 पीपल के लिए. बट अगर आप बात करो कि मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज, इन द मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज इज 1.2 बेड. ठीक है ना. 2.4 बेड इन दी वर्ल्ड. 2.4 बेड वाइल. ओके, सो no, just correct me data. In the lower middle income it is 1.2, and in the middle income countries it is 2.4, and in the world it is 2.7. So India is very far off the achieving these targets. So 72% of the hospital bed in India are available in the urban area and 28% in the rural area. Okay, 72% of hospitals are available in the urban area. So this is the data. So and poor health management, we are already aware of these things, है ना. And what are the schemes we are running? We are running the schemes like the Ayushman Bharat Mission, National Health Mission, okay, National Ambulance Service 102, National list of the essential medicines, okay, what are the essential medicines and what are not, National Nutrition Missions, okay, India's G20 presidency, ठीक है ना, WHO ने लॉन्च किया हुआ था ग्लोबल इनिशिएटिव ऑन द डिजिटल हेल्थ. दीज आर द इनिशिएटिव दैट वर लॉन्च, इंक्रीज द डॉक्टर पॉपुलेशन रेशियो. अभी क्या है 1:854, okay, is better than the World Health WHO standard of the 1 to 1000. ठीक है ना. तो इस तरह के जो डेटा है वो है कि कितने डॉक्टर्स हैं हमारे यहाँ पे, ठीक है, डॉक्टर का भी डेटा आता है, तो उसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. इसको पूरा पढ़ लेते हैं, इंपॉर्टेंट लग रहा है थोड़ा सा. 854 is better than the World WHO standards of the 1 to 1000. Okay, the number of the UG undergraduate seats has increased. Okay, ठीक है. So this data is talking about the seats and all those things and the doctor. ठीक है. So हम इसके बाद we'll move into the next part. Now it is time for the paddy. What is the paddy? Paddy is dhan. ठीक है. So there's one more new variety of the paddy, PR126. Okay, we are talking about that. But apart from that, before talking about the paddy, so first of all, this paddy is something. Now paddy is something that we use, and also paddy is what we call as the kharif crop. It is a kharif crop. Okay, and the largest producer of the paddy is the West Bengal, and the second one is the UP. UP is the second largest producer of the paddy. Clear? Now talking about the paddy and where is the International Rice Research Institute? International Rice Research Institute, it is in the Philippines. ठीक है ना. Now so अभी this article is regarding the ban of the non basmati rice जो कि लगाया था गवर्नमेंट ने on September 28, 2024. ठीक है. Now MSP sorry, minimum export price. So minimum export price is the $490 per ton has been imposed on the non basmati rice. Now first of all, I'll talk about the rice. So rice is this map you can see here. Now in this map we can see the West Bengal is the state which is producing the largest rice. Second is the UP. For the rice you need a lot of amount of water because rice is the water guzzling crop. So rice is the water guzzling crop, so you need a lot amount of the water. Clear? Next is the temperature. So temperature should be near about 22 to 32. ठीक है ना. Rainfall should be 150 to 300 centimeter, and the soil could be the deep clay or the loamy soil. ठीक है. Top producer, as I have already mentioned, the West Bengal, Punjab and the Uttar Pradesh, है ना, because these are the way, or these are the land of the perennial Himalayan river. Okay, and some of the varieties talking about the Asu, Ama and Boro. ठीक है ना. In the states like the Assam, the 3 crops paddy are grown. Okay, ठीक है. India is the leading exporter of the basmati rice in the global market. Okay, which is about the 2/3. So 2/3 of the global market basmati rice is produced by the India, and these are the countries in the world where the rice is produced. ठीक है, where the rice is produced. Clear? So and talking about this article, so this article was talking about the ban. Now what you need to understand about the ban is that when the government imposed ban, okay, so ban is imposed immediately, but ban is not removed immediately. ठीक है ना. So there's a lot of what you call as the there's a lot of discrepancies, okay, in the supply chain as a repercussion. ठीक है. So we need to make this process quick and swift so that there's no lack of the demand and supply. So there's a balance of the demand and supply. Okay. Now this article is about the traditional medicines, the medicinal foods and benefits. So we know that whenever we got injured or whenever any problem happened, first of all we go to the first aid box. Okay, and we also do the home remedies also. Okay, home remedies also. So in the line of the home remedies, okay, we have the things like the turmeric, giloy, ashwagandha, okay, and bringaraj. Okay, so these are the things. Now, so talking about some more articles regarding that, the government has also introduced the Ayush mission, okay, and various mission those that are promoting the traditional medicines. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Now in the prelims we have the syllabus head. In the syllabus head we have the national importance of the national importance of the health mission. Okay, health mission. Okay, health mission. Now, talking about the health mission, first of all, we need to understand the our health system. Our health system. So our health system, it is divided into the primary, secondary, and the tertiary. In the primary level, we have the category known as the primary health center. Okay. In the secondary level, we have the community center. Primary level, what is the meaning of primary level? If it is a very small town, very small town, or in the village, you can say, in the village we have the primary health center, and next we have the community health center. And next, in the district, we have the hospitals and the medical colleges. So this is the basic structure. Now the Ayush mission, as you are well aware of the Ayush, the Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and Suvarikpa, homeopathy. So this is the Ayush mission. So Ayush mission, it is a traditional and a non-conventional system of the healthcare and healing. So basically, what Ayush does, what Ayush did. Now it enhances the diversity and the flexibility and accessibility. Okay, and affordability, a broad acceptance by the larger section of the general people. Because there's also misconception regarding the use of the herbal medicines, or you can talk about the Ayurvedic medicines, that they are not very much effective as per the guidelines, or as compared to the what we call as the allopathic medicines. ठीक है ना? So we need to raise awareness, है ना, and do the campaigns so that we can raise our voice regarding the traditional use of the medicines, है ना. So there's a lot of the skepticism, है ना, and the Ayurveda establishment has failed, ठीक है ना, because it failed to keep pace with the intellectual and the scientific advance of the time. So it has not made itself updated, है ना, as per the guidelines, or as per the trend, basically I should say. ठीक है. So this was the thing. Now, so Ayush Mission, National Ayush Mission, this was launched in 2014. Sorry, it was launched in 2014 by the Department of the Ayush under the Ministry of the Health and Family Welfare. Okay, in 12th 5-year plan. Okay, implemented to the state and union territories. It is implemented by the Ministry of Ayush. So there's a separate ministry handling this department, Ministry of Ayush. And what it does, it is promoting for the expansion of the holistic expansion of the Indians. The development of the coverage of the Indians. So what are the component of the National Ayush Mission? So there we are providing the Ayush services. Ayush educational institutes are there where you can study, and the quality control of the Ayush, that is the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, homeopathy, okay, drug, and the medicinal plant, those plant that grows for the purpose of the medicines, known as the medicinal plant. Okay, na? What are the flexible component? The Ayush wellness and health center. Okay, na? Telemedicines we are providing, though you can also talk to the doctor, okay, online. And innovation in the Ayush, including the private partnership. So we are going with the PPP model in the Ayush also. And then the information, education and communication, IEC, information, education and communication activities, voluntary certification of the schemes, project based, etc. तो ये सारी चीजें हैं we are doing under the Ayush mission. Okay. Now our next topic is the mission for the integrated development of the horticulture. So talking about the horticulture, what is horticulture? So we are talking about here the mission for the integrated development of the horticulture. Horticulture include two things. The first is the fruit, and second is the vegetables. ठीक है ना, और flowers also. ठीक है, flowers also. ठीक है, fruit पे flower आ जाएगा, ऐसे मान सकते हैं. Now, so basically it was launched by the government of India under the centrally sponsored scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme, not a central sector scheme. There are two types of scheme: centrally sponsored scheme and central sector scheme. Central sector scheme is the scheme that is totally funded by the center, and centrally sponsored scheme, it is funded half by the center, half by the state, in the 60-40 ratio. But this ratio changes for the northeastern state. For the northeastern state or hilly state, it is 90-10 ratio, and for the UT, it is 100% funded by the center. Okay. And what is the ministry? Ministry of the Agriculture and the Farmer Welfare. Okay. And we have some sub schemes also under it. What are some schemes? National Horticultural Mission, National or Horticultural Cluster Development Program, Technology Mission for the Development of the Northeast State, Sikkim and Jammu and Kashmir, National Bamboo Mission, or Coconut Development and mission for the integrated development of the medicinal plant. ठीक है ना, medicinal plant. Some of the methods you should know. The hydroponics. Hydroponics is the soil free cultivation. Now, normally how the plant grows, normally the plant grows in the soil, but in the hydroponics we are not growing the soil, we are not going to grow the plant in the soil, we are going to grow the plant on the water. So we'll take the let's say a cup of water, and we'll put all the ingredients in the water itself, okay, and then we'll put the plant here and it will grow, okay, whatever kind of plant, let's say the medicinal plant, it will grow. So this method is known as the hydroponics. Next method is the aquaponics. In the aquaponics, what we are doing, we are growing the fish, and we are also growing the plants. So it is a method in which, let's say this method you have understand very well. So here is the plant in the aquaponics. Now what we will do, we will in this water, whatever water we have, in this water we will put fishes also. So what the fish will do, whatever the excreta of the fish will be there, will be used by the plant. ठीक है ना. So this is known as the aquaponics. Then the vertical farming. In the vertical farming, we put the plant in the layer just like this. ठीक है, this is known as the vertical farming. This is in the vertical farming. ठीक है ना. So these are the things that we need to understand. Next thing is the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. ठीक है ना. So this was recently in the news. Okay, this was recently introduced. Now about the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. So this was established in the 1996. Okay, as the interim preparatory commissions for the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. ठीक है ना. It entered into the force building the vertical regime in promoting the global adopting the treaty. ठीक है. तो न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट बैन ट्रीटी यानी कि डोंट यूज द न्यूक्लियर वेपन, इसको आपने बोला गया है. ठीक है ना. सो बात किया जाए इसके साइज़ के बारे में. सो कंप्राइजिंग ऑफ द 337 मॉनिटरिंग फैसिलिटीज़ एंड ओवर 90% ऑफ द ऑपरेशनल फैसिलिटीज़. किस को चीज़ों को ये ऑब्जर्व करता है कि कोई इफ देयर इज एनी कंट्री विच इज़ ऑपरेटिंग द न्यूक्लियर प्रोजेक्ट. ठीक है ना. सो इट ऑब्जर्व्स वाया द सेस्मिक एक्टिविटी, हाइड्रो एकॉस्टिक, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर साउंड एंड रेडियो न्यूक्लियाइड्स. ठीक है. दीज आर द वेज फ्रॉम विच इट understand. The last thing is the Dholavira. What is about the Dholavira? Dholavira is in the Kutch, Gujarat, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is the Indus Valley Civilization site. It is the fifth largest site of the Indus Valley Civilization. And here you can see, now this is the map of the India. Now in this map of the Gujarat or India, this is the Gulf of Kutch. This is the Kutch and this is the Khambat. So this part is what I call as this part is Kutch and this part is Khambat. This is Kutch. This part is. So Dholavira is near the Kutch, you can say. Okay, okay. But if you talk about a Lothal, which is the port city, is near the Khambat or Cambay, Gulf of Cambay. ठीक है, Gulf of Cambay. So this is it about the article. अगर आपको चीज़ अच्छी लगी हो, if you love the session, please do let me know in the comment section, and it will be very grateful to me. Till then, take a good bye. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.